showing you cinematic camera techniques to help improve your composition. In the example project, we shot everything handheld and used only natural light. Let's take a look.
Everyone is trying to find the right person, but nobody is trying to be the right person. What will you do to reach your goals? How hard are you willing to work to become the best of yourself? 10 years from now, make sure you can say that you chose your life. You didn't settle for it.
With this project, we shot it at evening and we were shooting for maybe like an hour or two. And then I decided to add all the different sound design elements and the voiceover to actually make the video come together. So starting off, first shot was actually at the park down the road from our apartment. So everything was shot handheld, and I was using the Zcam F6 as I always do. And then I was using the 35mm lens, which is actually the same setup and lens on this camera right now that you guys are looking at me from. This is my favorite setup and my favorite lens, and everything was done handheld. So she was just basically doing some basic, workout movements that you see in fitness videos like you always do. Do some stretches because she's about to work out, obviously. And then you go into filming her workout. So a lot of things that I was trying to do in this video was trying to get a lot of reflections in water, so you can see those nice reflections of light here. So I had the camera super close to the ground while I was dollying in towards her. I was walking towards her. Now what this does is actually add depth, because behind the cameras is just a big flat surface. How do you make that interesting? Well, you bring the camera super high, you bring it super low. And in this time, since I don't have a big crane or a jib, I decided to just bring the camera down low. I can use the ground as a foreground object. And then another thing I was doing was trying to shoot with perspective lines intersecting into her. So you can see this line is going into her as well. And obviously I always try to do a little bit of backlighting, so when I don't have a lot of light and I'm using natural light, I try to do some backlighting. So the sun is sun is going down over here in the background. Now, next shot, we go with the same element here. We're using leading lines to lead you to look exactly where I want you to look. That's what I was doing with the framing here. Cut to this one. There's a similar shot as the last shot. Still get to see the nice reflections of water here. And then leading lines towards her, so you can look directly at what I want you to look at. And obviously some contrast in the background here compared to her. And then this is the same thing I'm doing. So there's a lot of leading lines you can play with when filming, like in environments like in a big city like I was living at the time. So that's something I really like doing. Now, one of the things I want to show you is like the handheld look. I just love how easier it is to get a handheld look with a full frame camera over a smaller sensor camera. Now, a lot of the things in here were mix and match of different times. So obviously later on in the video, it got darker, but some parts of the video are a little bit brighter. But the dynamic range of the Zcam was so powerful, I was able to actually make everything match fairly well. And this is a perfect example of that. This was something that we shot earlier on in the day, and we were able to make that match very well with the rest of the video. All right, let's go to the next shot. So with this shot, obviously I have a lot of foreground objects here, and this is This is one of the cool shots because I'm using the trees as frames. So you have dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, and dark. And then I'm pushing forward through the trees. So you can really sense the movement of the camera as she blasts from, you know, frame left to right. And then be very mindful that, you know, when you're doing movement sequences transitioning from different scenes, that you actually pay attention to the continuity of where the objects in the scene are moving. So she's running from frame left to right. That means she has to continue running from frame left to right in the following shot. Perfect example here. This shot right here. In the real video, this shot is flipped. She was actually running from right to left when I filmed this shot. However, since there isn't any text that you need to read in the frame, like there's no text or signs up here, you know, there's no sign right here that reads text or anything like that. So it's easy, I can just flip the image and then continue the continuity of what I'm filming. And then this continues to this next shot here. And with that in mind, on set, you know, when I was filming this shot right here, I knew that I was gonna have to flip it, and I was okay. I was okay with that. I planned it that way. You know, when I was there, I was like, I'm gonna film it this way because I know I can just flip it in post because there's no signs. Then when I go to this shot right here, I made sure I had filmed her running, continuing her run from frame left to right. And then we cut to this one. It's the same thing. Continued her running from frame left to right to make it actually make sense so people can easily follow along. That's what makes a lot of edits smooth, is when you can actually combine this stuff together to make it make sense to somebody watching. Boom. Then I use that as a match cut transition to her running up the stairs. Boom. Continuing that movement. Now I switched it on purpose because this was basically going to be the end of the video. It's going to be like, wait, what happened, you know? Also, the camera, in my mind, what I wanted to do was get a running angle of her front on, but I was not able to do that. I could have done it from behind, but the shots that we got from behind did not make it into the cut. So I had to make the abrupt cut to her running in the opposite direction, which was fine with me as well. Anyways, so we finished off this video here with a close-up of her running, and then this long tracking shot at the end, and then go back to a super close-up. So this shot is actually longer than you think, because I actually do a full 360 around her more than one time. And then I cut to a close-up here. And then that's the video. All right. This was one of the fun shots. This is why I like the 35mm, because it's wide enough for you to do long takes, like handheld shots like this, but it's not too long where you would have insane amount of bobble. If I wanted to improve this shot, I could have done it on a Segway, and it would have looked insane. It is because it would have been super smooth, but at the same time, I still have a little bit of a handheld shake, which I do like when it comes to a lot of things. I hope you guys liked how I did the breakdown, explaining my decision making when doing these fun little impromptu shoots. So if you guys liked the video, please leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You just did.
Oh.
Go jump. Oh man.
Oh, I can do the little like.
What is that called?
I don't know, the little leprechaun thing.